If you've ever looked back on a connection and you thought, why did I get the most obsessed with a person who was actually the least consistent with me? And sometimes the least well-behaved, the meanest, the one who didn't even seem like they liked me that much. You're not imagining it. It does make sense, unfortunately. Hi, I'm Madalena, and this is You Reclaimed. Around here, we spend a lot of time talking about how we reclaim our lives back from the grips of childhood trauma, from emotional dysregulation, and from anxiety. And we do this ongoing exercise because we want to live our lives on our own terms. I hope you stick around. Before we get into it, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. And if you're finding this content helpful, please give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Narcissists, whether true narcissists or people who are heavily narcissistic in their behavior, and sometimes just people who run this sort of narcissistic pattern of grandiosity and self-centeredness, are kind of the perfect setup for limerence. So let's walk through the cycle that usually takes place in these situations so you can see it clearly for what it is. In this video, we're going to focus on the first part of what usually happens when you connect with a narcissist, the love bombing and the idealization. This is the part that everyone remembers. A narcissist will come in at a really high level. They'll mirror you. They'll be fascinated by you. They'll want to learn everything about you and know you inside out. Actually, they'll want to know how you tick, because knowing how you tick will help them press all the right buttons later on. But in the beginning, that will look like a lot of very focused and very detailed interest in who you are as a person. They'll stay up talking to you all night. They'll say big things way too early, like, I've never met anyone like you. I feel so safe with you. We're perfect for each other. I can tell you everything. And if you're someone who's already craving being seen and being chosen by someone because you didn't get a lot of that, then this kind of beginning can feel like a burst of pure oxygen. Oh, this is the thing that we've actually been waiting for. This is the kind of romance and connection and attention that we've always wanted. Are you crazy for responding in this way? No, it's normal to want to connect. It's normal to feel flattered when someone shows a lot of interest in us. You are reacting to real input. So the initial connection with a narcissist is not imaginary. It is what it is. But then comes the second part of the narcissistic pattern, which is the drop, or what we know as the devaluation period. And this doesn't always look like yelling or name calling. A lot of the time, it's much quieter than that. Many times it will simply look like less warmth, less responsiveness, less initiation, less interest in your inner world and in who you are as a person. Now suddenly they're talking about themselves a lot more. They're not as interested in listening to you. They're engaging with you at a much lower level of interest than where they came in. And sometimes, yes, it comes with underhanded insults, underhanded put-downs, in general, to undermine your own confidence. Why does this happen? Because that first phase is about making sure that they have your admiration and that you're available as supply. Meaning you're there to reflect to them the version of themselves that they like to see. And once they feel, okay, I've got this person, the urgency to keep impressing you drops dramatically. Or they start to notice that you have real needs, or that you're not spending all of your time just mirroring the good parts of them back to themselves. And when that happens, their attention goes down because that's what you were there for in the first place. So from your side, all of this looks like the energy just drops off a cliff. But this exact high-low pattern is what supercharges limerence. You will remember the 100% that they gave you in the beginning, and you'll want to go back there, but now you don't really know the road to take to get back to that elusive place. And you don't know if you can get back to it at all. And you start second guessing yourself, saying things like, did I imagine that person that I met? Was this person a completely different person? I don't understand what's happening. That's a very, very common experience. And there's a really important detail here that I don't want to skip. People who are narcissists or who just run very heavily toward narcissistic behaviors, they are excellent at selling an upgraded version of themselves at the beginning. Selling the best version of yourself for a limited time is not that hard as long as you don't have to keep it up forever. So in the beginning, you will get the deep, smart, present, very interested, emotionally attuned, available version of them. And if you are naturally a hopeful, empathic person, or you have a history of building romantic fantasies about people or about love in general, which so many of us do, that kind of highly romanticized, highly attractive version of a person makes it super easy for you to start layering your own fantasies on top of it. So you take that person at face value and think, okay, even if their attention has gone down, even if their behavior has changed, once we're properly together, or once they're finished their divorce, once they're less stressed, once they're ready, then I'll get that initial version of them again. So now you're not just hooked on the feeling that you had for this person, you're also hooked on the idea of what things could be like in the future. And you stay in this constant state of chasing that demo version that they showed you of themselves in the beginning, instead of looking at the real version that they're actually showing you on a regular basis, day to day. That version is starting to suck pretty much regularly. But this is why when they pull away, or they start being cold, or they start treating you badly, you go straight to blaming yourself. And you think, I must have done something that has made them stop being this fantastic person that they were at the beginning. And from there, it is so easy to slip straight into limerence, because now you're thinking about them all the time. You're checking on them, you're waiting for their messages, for their calls. You're fantasizing about running into them. You're basically trying to get back to a phase that was not meant to be permanent. It was just meant to lock you in place. And the trouble is that you do end up being locked in place in a long episode of limerence. So if you're sitting here mad at yourself, why did I fall the hardest for a self-centered, kind of calloused and mean person? This is why. You weren't consciously choosing based on kindness or on long-term compatibility. You were choosing based on that initial intensity and the uncertainty and the on and off pattern. Your brain was responding to the pattern, not to the character of this person. But the good news is that can be changed. Once you teach your nervous system, we don't chase people who give us love in tiny little bursts and then disappear. Or we don't chase people who change their behavior overnight. Or we don't chase people who undermine us in the way they behave towards us. You might still feel attraction to people who are not good for you. That part can take longer, or it may never go away. But you won't confuse attraction with, this is a person I should actually attempt to build a relationship with. Those two things are different, and that's a real win. Until next time. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use it. It really helps this channel grow. Until next time.